This time we'll explore the most powerful dragons in mythology, as well as the revered dragon deities worshipped across various faiths. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of legendary divine dragons that appear in mythologies around the world. Let's begin. 1. The strongest dragon, Typhon. Greek mythology. Typhon was born from the goddess Gaia, who united with the god of the abyss, Tartarus, to create a being powerful enough to defeat Zeus. His form differed greatly from that of a typical Western dragon. Hundreds of serpent heads sprouted from his shoulders, countless venomous snakes coiled from his thighs, his eyes blazed with fire, and his breath scorched everything it touched. His colossal body reached the stars, and his outstretched arms could span from the east to the west. When Typhon appeared, the Greek gods fled to Egypt. Under Gaia's command, Typhon directly confronted Zeus, seizing his thunderbolts and cutting off his limbs, imprisoning him in a cavern. Thanks to Hermes and Pan's help, Zeus escaped, regained his power, and ultimately defeated Typhon, burying him beneath Mount Etna. Even in defeat, Typhon fathered many terrifying monsters: the nine-headed serpent Hydra, the three-headed hound Cerberus, the Chimera, the Nemean lion, and the hundred-headed dragon Ledon. For this reason, Typhon remains one of the most powerful dragons in all mythology. 2. The nine-headed venomous dragon, Hydra. Hydra, the nine-headed dragon of Greek mythology, appears in the tale of the 12 labors of Heracles. Born of Typhon and Echidna, Hydra possessed near-immortal vitality. Whenever one head was cut off, two more would grow in its place. Its central head was immortal and could not be slain. When Heracles confronted Hydra, he cut off its heads while his companion Iolaus cauterized the wounds to prevent regeneration, eventually destroying 8 of them. The immortal head was buried beneath a massive boulder, forever imprisoned. Hydra also possessed an incredibly potent poison. Even a single drop of its blood or a breath could kill any creature. Heracles coated his arrows with Hydra's venom, turning them into deadly weapons. However, one of these arrows accidentally wounded the centaur Chiron, who despite his immortality, suffered unbearable pain and ultimately relinquished his immortality to Prometheus. As for Heracles, he too would later be destroyed by Hydra's poison, ending his life by self-immolation. 3. The eternal sea dragon king, Ananta. Hindu mythology. Ananta, also known by names such as Shesha or Sheshanaga, belongs to the Naga race. The name Ananta means eternal or infinite, symbolizing immortality and the cosmic order. Ananta is a colossal serpent that supports the world from the underworld realm of Patala, existing even before the universe's creation. When all was still a chaotic ocean, the god Vishnu rested upon Ananta's coiled body. From Vishnu's navel blossomed a lotus, upon which the creator god Brahma was born, a vision both majestic and sacred. According to Hindu mythology, the universe undergoes endless cycles of destruction and rebirth. Whenever a tyrant arises to spread evil, Ananta incarnates as Balarama, the elder brother of Krishna, who himself is an incarnation of Vishnu, to combat the forces of darkness. Armed with a mighty mace, Balarama fights alongside Krishna to defeat the tyrant and restore peace. After fulfilling his duty, Balarama returns to his true form as a colossal dragon and descends once more into the primordial ocean. Ananta, the one who upholds the world and accompanies Vishnu, is a being revered by all. 4. The evil dragon that terrified the god of war, Vritra. Hindu mythology. Vritra is the malevolent dragon described in the ancient Rig Veda. The name Vritra means obstacle, for it blocked the flow of rivers, bringing catastrophic drought to the mortal world. Vritra was an enormous monster, its body coiled like a massive serpent around the mountains, imprisoning the world's waters deep within a cavern. When humankind suffered from thirst, the war god Intr appeared, wielding his weapon Vajra, a thunderbolt mace forged by the divine craftsman Tivashtar to destroy Vritra. When struck down, Vritra's colossal body collapsed, releasing the long-imprisoned waters. Yet even then, Indra trembled before the creature's primordial power. Vritra also appears in other Indian epics, continuing its battle against Indra. In one story, Vritra proposed a condition for peace. No weapon made of wood or stone, dry or wet, by day or by night, could kill it. Indra exploited the loophole, attacking at twilight, a time that was neither day nor night, using sea foam imbued with the divine energy of Vishnu to strike and slay Vritra. Vritra's end is both tragic and awe-inspiring. The great dragon that once made the god of war tremble was ultimately defeated by divine cunning and celestial power. The dark dragon of the apocalypse, Aži Dahāka. Persian mythology. Finally, we come to Aži Dahāka, the dark dragon of Persian mythology and Zoroastrian doctrine. In the Avesta, Aži Dahāka is described as a gigantic being with 3 heads, 3 mouths, and 6 eyes. He is the embodiment of pure evil. Born from Angra Mainyu, also known as Ahriman, the eternal adversary of light and order. Aži Dahāka destroyed all that light had created, spreading plague, death, and darkness across the world. The hero Vritra, known later as Feridun, once defeated him and bound him deep within a cavern beneath Mount Damavand. Yet legend foretells that at the end of days, the chains will be shattered, and Aži Dahāka will rise again to unleash devastation before being vanquished in the final battle between good and evil. With 3 heads, 6 eyes, and the power to annihilate all life, Aži Dahāka stands as the ultimate symbol of malevolence, the dragon whose awakening will herald the world's end. In another legend, Aži Dahāka clashed with Intr, the god of fire serving Ahura Mazda, in a struggle for the sacred flame that could grant dominion over the world. Intr warned, "I will burn you from within and ensure that you never walk upon the earth again." A declaration that made Aži Dahāka retreat in terror. Even when bound by Vritra, Aži Dahāka's body still contained countless demonic creatures. If pierced, they would spill forth to spread sin and destruction across the earth. For that reason, Vritra chose not to kill him, but sealed him beneath Mount Damavand instead. Prophecy still proclaims that on the day of the world's end, Aži Dahāka will awaken once more, bringing terror and ruin to all creation. 6. Jörmungandr, the colossal dragon of Norse mythology. Jörmungandr was the son of Loki and the giantess Angrboda. Upon his birth, Odin foresaw that the serpent would bring great calamity to the gods, so he cast it into the depths of the ocean. Jörmungandr survived and grew so immense that it could encircle the entire realm of Midgard and bite its own tail. Thanks to its sheer size and might, it is regarded as the most powerful dragon in Norse mythology. Jörmungandr is most famous for its rivalry with Thor. They met twice. First when Thor and the giant Hymir went fishing and accidentally hooked Jörmungandr. Thor prepared to strike it down with his hammer Mjolnir, but Hymir, terrified that the boat would sink, cut the line, ending the battle prematurely. When Ragnarok, the end of the world, arrives, Jörmungandr will rise from the sea, attacking the mortal realm and engaging Thor in a final, fateful duel. Thor ultimately slays the dragon with a series of devastating blows, but before dying, Jörmungandr exhales its deadly venom, causing Thor to collapse after taking 9 steps. The 2 arch-enemies perish together, a tragic yet magnificent end for the mightiest god and the greatest dragon of the north. 7. Tiamat, the primordial dragon of Mesopotamian mythology. Tiamat is the goddess of saltwater, opposing Apsu, the god of freshwater. Together, they gave birth to the first generation of gods, which is why Tiamat is revered as the Great Mother. In the Enuma Elish, the Babylonian creation epic, after Apsu was slain by the god Ea Enki, Tiamat was filled with wrath and resolved to annihilate the younger gods, including Ea and his son, the god Marduk. It was the bitter decision of a mother, forced to turn her hand against her own children. To wage war, Tiamat gave birth to 11 monstrous beings to serve as her army, including the 7-headed serpent, the venomous serpent Bazmu, and the scorpion dragon Mushushu. Despite her immense power, Tiamat was ultimately defeated by Marduk. Her body was torn in 2, one half forming the heavens and the other becoming the earth. 8. Leviathan, the legendary dragon of the Old Testament. Leviathan is a colossal sea creature mentioned in the Book of Job. Its name derives from the original Hebrew Leviathan, later Latinized as Leviathan. So immense is Leviathan that when it swims, the sea itself rises into waves. Its mouth breathes fire, smoke billows from its nostrils, and its body is armored with scales harder than any weapon could pierce. At first, God created it as a pair, male and female, but its overwhelming power led him to destroy the male, allowing only the female to remain. In the Bible, Leviathan is portrayed as a terrifying being, one that even divine beings regard with caution. In the 4th book of Enoch, an apocryphal text, Leviathan was created by God on the 5th day of creation. It often converses with Behemoth, the beast of the land, and when the world reaches its end, both creatures will be sacrificed as food for humanity. Moreover, in many cultures, water is often linked to chaos, and dragons, as symbols of chaos, are closely tied to this element. As we can see, figures like Vritra, Jörmungandr, and Tiamat all share a deep connection with water. 9. The embodiment of evil, the red dragon in Revelation, New Testament. In the book of Revelation by St. John, there appears a colossal red dragon with 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon its heads. When it swept its tail, a third of the stars in the sky were cast down to the earth. This red dragon waged war against the archangel Michael and the heavenly host in a fierce celestial battle. Though powerful, it was ultimately defeated and cast out of heaven. Revelation describes, the great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. Thus, the red dragon represents Satan himself, the very serpent who once tempted Adam and Eve. In chapter 13 of Revelation, there also appears the beast bearing the number 666, which, like the dragon, has 7 heads and 10 horns. Many scholars interpret the dragon and the beast as symbols of the 7 Roman emperors: Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Nero, Vespasian, and Domitian. This was an allegory used by early Christians who could not openly oppose the Roman Empire. The dragon became the emblem of Rome's tyrannical power. From this tradition, Western culture came to associate dragons with the devil as enemies of God, and the modern fantasy trope of the dragon as the demon king ultimately stems from this biblical and historical origin. 10. The enemy of the sun, Apep in Egyptian mythology. In Egyptian mythology, Apep, known as Apophis in Greek, is a colossal serpent of chaos, the eternal enemy of the sun god Ra. Born from the primordial sea before the order of the world was established, Apep symbolizes destruction and disorder. Each day, as Ra sails his solar bark across the sky, Apep attempts to obstruct him, seeking to devour the sun and shatter the cycle of light. Thus, darkness, storm clouds, and tempests were seen as moments when Apep temporarily triumphed, while a total solar eclipse was believed to be the time when Apep had swallowed Ra's solar boat. According to some legends, Apep was once a sun god himself, but when Ra took that position, Apep became his eternal nemesis. The battle between Ra and Apep represents the everlasting struggle between light and darkness. However, Ra did not fight alone. Seth, the god of war, served as Ra's protector against Apep. Yet over time, Seth's image became distorted. Eventually, people began to associate Seth with Apep himself, creating a bitter paradox. The god who once defended the light came to be seen as the embodiment of darkness. 11. The dragon that devoured maidens, Yamata no Orochi in Japanese mythology. Yamata no Orochi is a terrifying 8-headed serpent in Japanese mythology. It once battled Susanoo, the storm god and younger brother of the sun goddess Amaterasu. Orochi possessed a gigantic body with 8 heads and 8 tails. Its eyes glowed red like lanterns, and its immense length stretched across 8 mountains and 8 valleys. The creature dwelled on land and devoured young maidens, spreading fear among the people. When the time came to sacrifice the final maiden, Kushinada Hime, Susanoo appeared. He promised her parents that if he could slay Orochi, they would give Kushinada Hime to him in marriage. The couple agreed, and Susanoo began his preparations. He ordered the brewing of Yashiori no sake and poured it into 8 large barrels to lure Orochi. The monstrous serpent drank until it was utterly intoxicated and unable to move. At that moment, Susanoo drew his divine blade, Totsuka no Tsurugi, and cut Orochi into 8 pieces, completely destroying it. When he later dissected the creature, Susanoo discovered the sword Ame no Murakumo no Tsurugi inside its body. He presented it to Amaterasu, and it became one of Japan's 3 sacred treasures. Yamata no Orochi, though a symbol of evil, also stands as a monumental figure, representing the iconic image of the Japanese dragon. 12. The 9-headed dragon, Kuzuryu, Japanese mythology. At Togakushi Shrine in Nagano, a monk named Gakumon once sealed away a 9-headed demon inside a cave. After repenting, the creature transformed into Kuzuryu Gongen, a benevolent dragon deity who could bring rain, bless marriages, and cure illnesses. However, another legend tells that the 9-headed dragon once attacked villages on Mount Kinada in Chiba. The legendary hero Yamato Takeru no Mikoto, armed with the sword Kusanagi no Tsurugi, set out to vanquish it. Exhausted from climbing, he fell asleep and was swallowed whole by the dragon. Days later, villagers saw the river turn red with blood and believed Yamato Takeru had perished. But he later recounted calmly, "As I slept, the dragon devoured me. I awoke, cut open its belly, escaped, and severed all 9 heads." Afterward, the dragon's spirit was enshrined and worshipped as a deity. The origin of Kuzuryu traces back to Indian mythology, specifically to the Naga king Vasuki. Through the spread of Buddhism to China and Japan, Vasuki became one of the 8 great dragon kings. In Chinese mythology, Huanglong, the yellow dragon, is a divine dragon associated with the central element in the 5 phases, Wu Xing. According to ancient records, Huanglong possesses a lion's mane, 3 claws on each foot, and bat-like wings, along with the power to control rain, a sacred symbol of the dragon race. Huanglong once aided the Yellow Emperor in defeating the war god Shanliu. However, after Shanliu's death, Huanglong was punished for the sin of slaying a deity and was forbidden to return to the heavens. He descended instead to dwell in the southern lands. The ancients believed this explained why southern China enjoyed abundant rainfall, while other regions often suffered droughts. According to the ancient text Shujing, the Book of Documents, in his later years, Huanglong transformed into Kulong, who became revered as the progenitor of ancient Chinese poetry. Within the philosophy of the five elements, Huanglong represents Earth, the center of the cosmos, and serves as a symbol of imperial authority. Over time, this image gradually merged with that of the Qilin, becoming a sacred and majestic creature of divine virtue. From these tales, we can see that whether a dragon is benevolent or malevolent, each kind possesses its own allure. Some bring destruction to the world, while others embody creation or divine protection for humankind. Be they gods or monsters, dragons forever stand as grand, mysterious beings, existing beyond the reach of human comprehension.